Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Defiant church leader, other members arrested for COVID breach. A St. Anne clergywoman has been arrested and charged after allegedly hosting a church service in clear breach of the COVID-19 prevention measures. Apostle Christine McLean, founder of the City of Refuge End Time Prophetic Ministries in St. Anne's Bay, was charged with breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act. The other two members of the church have also been charged. Their identities could not be ascertained up to time of publication. Reports are that sometime after 12 p.m. Tuesday, the police attempted to halt a church service where more than 50 people, including children, were worshiping without the wearing of masks. There was allegedly also no social distance. A 14-minute video showed a segment of the church service with screams of Jesus and Hallelujah from the congregation when Matt Neal was informed that the St. Anne Health Department and the police would like to address them. In addressing the congregants, Head of Operations for the St. Anne Police, Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, informed that the authorities wish to inform them about the COVID-19 protocols. Let it not be said that the police came here to manhandle anyone. Let it not be said that we are here to oppose God's work. That's not what we are here for, Francis explained. We are here to reach out to you on the grounds that observations were made regarding the public gathering. Let me make it clear, we are in full support of your worshiping, and we are in full support of you serving God, he elaborated. The lawman said he was not insinuating that the congregants were not law-abiding, but the provisions under the Disaster Risk Management Act spoke specifically to gathering in a church of at least 10 persons. What we have here is about 40 or maybe 50 persons. There is also a concern observed with the wearing of masks. We are not sure if it's the rule of the church not to wear them, but once you're gathered, masks must be worn in public spaces, Francis further informed. We, the police, do not want you to be sick. We want you guys to think about your health and wellness. Think about your well-being, he continued, urging them to obey the law of the land. Despite the warnings, the church service continued with a longer video showing the maskless McLean questioning the commitment of her congregation to God. God tell me that no man can touch me because I am the apple of his eye. But most of you are not ready. I tell you all, turn a una yard, cause una not ready to serve God yet. Stay a una yard and let the 10 people who need God come to church, because if una did mean Jesus, then wanna pass through the door, she said, pointing to the direction of the church door. All you do is shielding under me anointing. They can't touch me. What about Uno? If I go to jail, I will shake down the whole place for God's glory. But what about yourself? Do you know God yet? She quizzed. McLean then said that she will be choosing the 10 people to worship at subsequent services. You wait until something starts happening to pray for you to detect and see, for you to mash up the plans of the enemy. And I teach you the art of warfare, and una sit down here, she added. McLean further disclosed that she was not a fan of online services and that she would not be engaging in that form of worship. The service continued with disobedience of the earlier warnings given by the police. However, McLean and the two other members of the church were subsequently arrested and charged by the police and are scheduled to appear before the St. Anne Parish Court in May. On Sunday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness stated, as at March 1, churches will engage in only online services until March 22nd. However, activities are permitted for places of worship, and during that period, a maximum of 10 persons, including the clergy, will be allowed to be physically present at the place of worship to facilitate online broadcasting. Retired cop reportedly dies from COVID-19 complications. Retired Deputy Superintendent of Police Lloyd Equity Thomas has died. Thomas, who was a special investigator of the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA at the time of his passing, reportedly lost his battle to complications caused by COVID-19 on Wednesday morning. Thomas, 69, was admitted to the Kingston Public Hospital last week after testing positive for the deadly virus. A number of employees at the FLA have reportedly tested positive for COVID-19, forcing the entity to close its doors to the public on Thursday, February 26. Teen mother and her child reported missing. An Ananda alert has been activated for 14-year-old Alison Lang and her 2-month-old daughter, Akesia Kerr, of Hopeview Avenue, Linstead, St. Catherine, who have both been missing since Sunday, February 28. Alison is of dark complexion, medium build, and is about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Baby Kerr is of brown complexion and slim build. Reports from the Linstead police are that about 2 p.m. on February 28, Alison and baby Kerr was last seen at home. Their mode of dress at the time they went missing is unknown. Efforts to contact the mother have been unsuccessful. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Alison Lang and baby Kerr is being asked to contact the Linstead police at 876-985-2285, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Guard killed in Santa Cruz identified, nothing taken by attackers. Detectives from the St. Elizabeth Police Division have commenced a major investigation into a daring attempt at a heist in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth on Wednesday, March 3rd, which left one Guardsman security guard dead and 2 others nursing gunshot wounds. The deceased has been identified as 50-year-old Anthony Endem. In a release, the police said the incident occurred about 8:15 a.m. outside a financial service institution on Main Street in the town when the 3 security officers attempted to make a cash drop-off. The police said they were ambushed by a group of men who opened gunfire at them. During the incident, all 3 security officers received gunshot wounds. The police, who were said to have been quick on the scene, transported the injured men to the hospital where Endem died while being treated, and the other 2 men are being treated. The release said initial reports indicated that about 7:45 a.m., 2 men who are believed to be the suspected shooters were seen sitting at a stall in the area. One of the suspects is believed to be of brown complexion and was sporting an Afro hairstyle and was dressed in a red windbreaker, while the other man is believed to be of slim build and dark complexion. The police said despite the fatal attempted robbery, data indicates that there was a 12% reduction in robberies in the parish last year, which was said to have been achieved through crime reduction strategies. Family feud, woman and lover charged in beating of sister. A woman and her boyfriend have been charged with assaulting her sister in a brawl at their Denham Town home in February. But accused Cadian Cameron is blaming her sister, who she said started the February 2nd incident. She came to my house and asked for her keys, and I told her after she gave me my money, Cameron told the Kingston and St. Andrew Court. I was in the kitchen cooking when she came and beat on the stove, and I said, "Mind you make the kidney throw away," she added. According to Cameron, she went over to her sister's house where she said the complainant followed and pushed her to the dresser, knocking off a television set. She had a knife in her hand, and my boyfriend, Devon Gardner, heard the commotion and came to part the fight. Then she pointed the knife in his face. Then he said, "Mind you stab me, Cameron said. Cameron said that the knife fell from her sister's hand and things got physical. I pushed her on the bed and she was facing backward. Then I started to punch her face, Cameron said. Cameron told the court that she and her boyfriend were willing to iron things out with the complainant through mediation. However, the complainant said she had no interest in mediation, and Judge L'Oreal Montague set the matter for May 3rd. Some data from Jamcovid App will be destroyed after pandemic. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says some of the data collected through the Jamcovid-19 app will not be destroyed until after the pandemic. However, details surrounding the specific data to be kept were not disclosed by Holness at a press conference held on Sunday. A criminal investigation is ongoing into security vulnerability surrounding the app, which was created by the Amber Group aimed at managing the country's control entry program. As it relates to the situation with vulnerabilities of the Jamcovid site, you will recall in previous press conferences, we gave assurances that all data related to tracking and geofencing, that those would be immediately destroyed upon the ending of the quarantine process for geofencing. My understanding is that is done currently now, Holness stated. Any other data would still be necessary for the management of the pandemic, certainly for statistical purposes, and as soon as we don't need it anymore, meaning when the pandemic is over, the individual data points will be destroyed, he added. Asked on Sunday whether the government had been sued by anyone whose data may have been affected by any breaches or vulnerability of the app, Holness responded, "We have not had any notification of any lawsuits." In addition to providing the latest data and statistics about COVID-19 in Jamaica and other countries around the world, the app allows citizens to self-report their health status, book an appointment for testing if they are exhibiting symptoms, as well as request emergency services such as the police or ambulance. However, late last month, the government initiated a criminal investigation following alleged security vulnerabilities of the Jamcovid-19 application. The Amber Group, which created the site, insisted that the system was secured and dismissed reports of any second breach of the application, as suggested by American journalist Zach Whitaker of TechCrunch. But days after, Whitaker revealed that he had informed Amber Group of a third Jamvid security lapse, allegedly involving more than 500,000 exposed quarantine orders for travelers to Jamaica. The Office of the Prime Minister (OPM), in a release, had informed that while the investigation into the application continued, the government was accelerating plans that were already underway to migrate the Jamcovid-19 database. The cyber analysis team has undertaken a comprehensive review of security of the application and related databases and, in conjunction with the developer, significantly hardened the security of the system, the OPM stated, while reassuring the public that the Jamcovid-19 application was safe for use. COVID vaccine is only hope for recovery, says Bartlett. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says tourism-dependent countries which do not vaccinate their populations will be unable to recover economically and will be plunged into poverty. He called for equitable access to the vaccines for developing countries in order to ensure their continued development. The vaccine represents the only hope in the world for a return to a semblance of normalcy, Bartlett stated, noting that it would take more than 5 years to achieve herd immunity around the world if the vaccines are delivered at the current rate. Speaking at the Catalyst Health Innovation and Investment Forum held on Wednesday, Bartlett cited a recent article from Bloomberg which indicated that 100 countries have received some vaccines to date, while another 130 have not received any. He said that 70% of the vaccines produced have gone to only 10 countries. Bartlett predicted that movement between countries would be dependent on whether or not their populations have received the shot to combat COVID-19. Countries are going to be moving ahead and countries are going to be left behind, and those countries that are left behind will be discriminated against naturally because rules are going to be made on a domestic basis about where nationals will travel, where they should go, and where they shouldn't go, Bartlett said. The tourism minister said Jamaica is the 17th most tourism-dependent country in the world based on the industry's contribution to GDP. He said as such tourism-dependent countries should push for a more equitable distribution of the vaccines. He said distribution of vaccines to tourism-dependent countries was necessary to ensure the recovery of the tourism sector, which has done so much for world growth and development. Jamaica has 170,000 persons directly employed in tourism, which is about 20% of the workforce. Also speaking at the forum, Dr. Timothy Evans, a former senior director of the Health, Nutrition and Population (HNP) Global Practice at the World Bank Group, warned against persons dropping their guards and no longer following the protocols once they have been vaccinated. Once people are vaccinated, they feel that they can go out and have fun. But for the next 4 to 6 months, we have to remain with all that public health vigilance. We still do not have much evidence as to whether vaccines prevent transmission, Evans added. Evans said the goal of achieving herd immunity in different populations isn't a one-size-fits-all. He said this could be better achieved in states with large amount of natural infections such as New York, Florida, and Texas. In areas with low infection rates, the virus will take off like a fire in a dry forest. The Catalyst Health Innovation and Investment Forum is the brainchild of medical doctor and founder of Novamd, Dr. David Walcott, and founding partner of Novamd and CEO of the Visionary Summit, Kirk Hamilton. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.